Hey lovelies, welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. Let's get into the season finale of Ready to Love. The episode started with the final brunch, and Tommy was letting the men know that they will be meeting the ladies' family. Tommy's like, you guys be respectful. I'm like, okay. The other thing that struck me was that at the brunch, it seemed that Cynthia was still confused about who she wanted to choose between Anthony and Andre. I think Andre excites her, and then I think Anthony is who she feels like, okay, probably matches better with her, but she is very attracted to Andre and really wants to choose Andre, but Andre has a strong connection with Jeffrey, so it's all a bit confusing now. So Morgan set up a date with Tony and her brother, and what was interesting was when Morgan started to brief her brother, saying, Tony has had his entanglement, and that, he's aggressive, which is good, but then, it could be bad as well, and that he's from New York. The brother was like, oh, hey. The brother is already prepared, in my opinion, to grill Tony. So then Morgan's brother started off straight out the gate. Like, this New Yorker aggression thing and jealousy thing. How do you plan to navigate that? So Tony was being honest and said, during the process, there was an instance where two alpha male clashed. I believe he means him and Lyndon, and how they got into it and he said some things that his sister did not like. He said he apologized for it and he said he would not happen again. And so it's all well and good for you to say that, but then what have you done to make sure it doesn't happen again? That's my issue when people say things like it won't happen again. That is such a strong statement. How are you sure? How do you know it's not going to happen again? How can you assure me that it's not going to happen again? So I'm not buying the BS that he's spitting, if I'm being honest. Does anyone buy the BS? Let me know in the comment section below, guys. When I tell you that Morgan's brother was like, don't let me have to come and find you. I said, what? I said, what? I love it. So then this is where it gets interesting. In the confessionals, Tony was like, oh, for Morgan's brother to be saying that means that Morgan has been telling him stuff. And so his question is like, what aggression has he had towards Morgan? I'm like, it does not have to be directed towards her. Even though I feel like you've been less than sensitive towards her on multiple occasions. And also the comment you made was aggressive towards her. Granted, it was not full on overt aggression, but there was a passive aggression thing there. And so that is just as aggressive. And it questions whether it will really happen again, and I believe it would again, because if you are acting like you don't know what you've done, my brother, you know what you've done. Stop it. When I tell you that Morgan's brother was on the job, he was on the job. He asked Tony directly, so what happened with the other person in this process? When I tell you Tony stuttered for a bit, it's like, what person? I'm like, oop. Tony ended up explaining what happened with Natasha and that this was before he and Morgan were really connecting, and that once he and Morgan started connecting on a deeper level, he told Morgan. And so Tony's brother was like, I appreciate the honesty. I don't like it, but I appreciate the honesty. And I'm like, yeah, fair enough, because he could have decided not to say anything and it would have come out in the reunion. So in a way, I'm actually glad he spoke about it. But then again, I'm sure he knows it will come out in the reunion, so it's better to express it than leave it until last minute anyway. So after Tony left, Morgan and her brother were talking about it, and Morgan's brother was like, the thing that gives him cause for concern is the aggression, and I completely agree. It's the aggression, lack of communication, the jealousy, all of that. It's a big red flag. Morgan, run. I've been saying this since episode 7 or so. Run, please, sis. Run. Thank you. Over on the other side, Cynthia brought her sister and two of her cousins to meet Andre and Anthony. So Andre walked in first, hugged Cynthia, and then as soon as he sat down, they started asking questions. So they're asking him questions. He starts talking about the fact that he used to date someone who was really young. She was 23. And then the ladies did not seem impressed. And then he was trying to explain to them that she was a mature 23-year-old because she already had a child as well, and that he was a stepfather for some time. And then he started to talk about the fact that he's still hurting from it. I'm like, okay, why are you going to bring that up? Because of course they're going to ask you questions like, why are you ready then? And so then they proceed to start asking him, "Oh, if you're still hurting, like, why are you dating now? And like, are you really ready?" And then he's like, he doesn't think anyone can be like truly ready, and that he feels like, everyone, has to desire it and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, what sort of BS are you saying? And you know what's funny? One of the cousins' faces was so expressive, and like she was literally doing the faces I would do if I was on that date with them. Because what the hell, bro? Like, what the hell? It's like you're literally there to sabotage it. I don't understand. So then he tries to clean it up, that to be like, oh, he doesn't feel like he's fully ready for her. He's told her like he's not perfect, but he'll try to be the best man for her. I'm like, bro, no, brother. There's no way on earth you would say all of that, and I will agree for my sister, cousin, or anyone that I know to continue to be dating you. It's a no for me. God, thank gosh for Anthony. Anthony walked in and he tried to like dissolve things a little bit. So they started focusing on him and started asking him to share a little bit about himself. So he talked about the fact that he was in clinical health, and that, he has one child, and he's open to, taking care of more children, all of that stuff. From the sisters' faces, they seem to be really into it. So, of course, Andre then gets up and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, ladies, but I have to run." I'm like, yeah, bro, you got to get out of there. Now, when I tell you that Anthony was the star of this episode, like, the sisters seem to really like him. So after Andre left, Anthony was talking to the ladies, and the ladies were practically threatening him, like, "Don't play with our sister. We ain't here for it." Like, I love it. I love it. But he took it in great strides. He was very comforting to her. He was like rubbing her back while she was like tearing up. And like he also said something that I thought was interesting, where he was like, "Cynthia is not used to receiving love." I'm like, wow. And Cynthia even agreed. I'm like, that means she must have been in really terrible situations. So I think on balance, Anthony is definitely better suited for her than Andrew. I will be completely honest. So after Anthony left, the ladies were talking, and it seems that they appreciated Andre's honesty, but they felt like Andre is still very fearful of attachments, to having to take care of other children. And on the other hand, Anthony seems ready, and it seems like he will give her what she's looking for. So it sounds like they liked them both, but for different reasons. I personally think Anthony is probably a better fit for Cynthia at this point. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Completely side points, but Cynthia's sister's hair is beautiful. Like, her locks are so gorgeous. Like, I can't wait for my locks to get that long and for me to be able to style it like that. It looks beautiful, man. Anyways, moving on. Mercedes brought her friend Vanessa to meet Marc Anthony. When I tell you Vanessa was getting in that ass, Vanessa was asking Marc Anthony about how it's going to work, considering it's going to be a long distance relationship and they don't have a foundation yet. And so Marc was trying to explain that they both live very unconventional lives, and that essentially they could basically make it work. So then Vanessa was like, "You look like a stubborn man." And he's like, "Yeah, he's relentlessly stubborn." So Vanessa is like, "So are you willing to change that?" And then Marc Anthony was trying to qualify it. And Vanessa was like, "It's a yes or no question." I'm like, oopsie. Vanessa was not feeling Marc Anthony on that. Do you hear me? She was not here for Marc Anthony. And so Marc was like, for him, like when he makes his decision, the decision is made. It's like, with yes means it's a yes, it's no means it's a no, and that, he's a person of integrity. And essentially what he was trying to also say was that, as the breadwinner, he would love for his woman to follow him across the world or wherever he needs to move to make the money. And I'm like, okay, all right, bro. I hear you. One thing I have to say about Mercedes is like, Mercedes, what's up with the fashions? Like, you're always giving so basic, and I don't like it because you're a beautiful woman. And I just feel like all you need is a few more styling tips here and there. Like, you need to hire me as a stylist, honey. I will get you together, all the way together, honey. When I tell you that Vanessa is a good friend, did you hear the debrief that she said to Mercedes? She was like, "Let's be serious. take all the fact that he's pretty away. Are you willing to work at it? You don't really necessarily have a foundation yet, and then the relationship will be long distance. I find that most long distance relationships that do work, it usually starts off with a foundation first before it becomes long distance. However, there are exceptions, of course, but it depends on whether both parties are willing to work for it and how committed they are to seeing each other frequently. I feel like that's what makes the difference, if I'm being honest. Take it from someone who's done a few long distance relationships in her life, maybe more than a few, but yeah. Mr. Andre is busy. Do you hear me? So Mr. Andre met Jeffrey's sister. Jeffrey's sister is very pretty, I have to say. And so it seemed like not like a nice civil conversation. She was just expressing, the fact that her sister has been through a lot and she gives a lot and it has just not been reciprocated. And she wants to make sure that whoever Jeffrey chooses is someone who would reciprocate, that love, that energy. She also tried to find out, is there a comparison between the person that he's dating in the process, like Cynthia and Jeffrey. And then Andre was like, no comparison. And that, he'd rather be transparent with Jeffrey and tell her the truth than not to do so at all. It sounds like Andre is still confused as to who he wants to choose. Like, I would have thought Jeffrey all these days, like, you are kissing her all the time, doing all sorts. Who knows what you guys are doing behind closed doors, but yet you're still being pulled by Cynthia as well. That's very interesting. So when Andre left, Jeffrey's sister was like, she likes him, but, she feels like the kids thing gives her cause, to pause and whatnot. Girl, let's talk about the fashions, honey. Mercedes walked up to Marc Anthony in a long black dress. It was see-through from the booty downwards, yeah. The part that got me is the neckline. I don't know if she glued it on wrongly, but the neckline isn't sitting right. So that's the only thing I have to say. Would it be a dress I would wear? No, but does she look nicer than she's looked all season? Yes. Do I feel like the neckline gets to go? Yes. But she looks nicer than she has all season. So let me know what you guys thought about the dress that she was wearing. Marc Anthony, of course, looked nice as usual in the fit. I saw did you guys the leopard print shoes? I'm like, okay, honey, alrighty. Can I just say, honey, Morgan is a baddie. I know I've said it all season, but she is a baddie and she knows it. She wore this badass red dress. The neckline was beautiful. It was giving body, it was giving booty, it was giving hips, it was giving legs and hips and body, yaddy, yaddy, or whatever Candy said, honey. It was giving all the way body, yeah? I can't say the same for Tony. Tony looked decent, but I don't know. I don't like Tony anymore. So yeah, I'm not really feeling Tony. So I don't care what he is wearing. Yeah, guys. When Tony was talking about, I do choose you and all this stuff to Morgan, did you see her face? She was not buying any of it. I get the impression she's gonna say no, because I'm doing this commentary as I'm watching it. So yeah, fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. Over on the other side, Mercedes starts talking about the fact that she moved to Florida because she wanted to, get to know herself and find an anchor. And that if she decides to move or be in a long distance relationship, that will throw her off and it's like a ship without sail or whatever she said. And I was like, do you know what, sis? I am so proud of you for choosing yourself. So she chose herself, guys. I'm so proud of her for doing that because I don't see it working because I did not see them have any deep conversations at all. And them building that solid foundation that I could be like, okay, because of the solid foundation that you've built, this is going to work out. You know what I mean? Guys, let me know in the comment section below. Did you think she made the right decision? Let me know in the comment section below, guys. Let me know. What the hell is Andre wearing? Andre looks like a juju priest. Now, if you guys are Nigerian, this is how some of them used to put their outfits together back in the day in Nigerian movies. And it's very much given Ifa priest. Okay, not Ifa, but one of those herbalists from the village. What is this red and ew? Let me know if you guys feel the same way. Is it just me that feels like Andre's outfit is a 0 out of 0, honey? Like it's a 0 out of 100. I mean, like, what the hell were you thinking, bro? Like, you saw this and you were like, oh, I look cute in this. I'm gonna walk out in this. Like, seriously, what in the cropped trousers are those anyway? And then Jeffrey walked in with that dress. Like, girl, I not like you, but that dress is a no one. Two, that hair is a no, honey. Like, why would you choose to look like this on the last day? Like, seriously, who styled you? What were you thinking? Like, both of you clearly don't own mirrors. Because, like, what is going on? Like, or you guys need to holler at me for styling advice because that ain't it. Like, what is that? Seriously. So, guys, they took us back to Morgan and Tony. I completely forgot about those ones, yeah. So she's like, smooth Tony, I definitely had fun with you. I'm like, girl, she's about to let you down, honey. Tony, I hope you are braced for this. Brace for impact. I repeat, brace for impact. And then she's like, but Tony, your actions have left me embarrassed and, yeah, it's giving me cause for pause. I'm like, yes, girl, I'm embarrassed for you, sis. She was like, when you're mad, that is a Tony that frightens me. I'm like, bam. Exactly. 100, honey. 100. She's like, I don't know if you know what love is. I'm like, oop. Love is kind. Love is patient. Love is not easily angered. I'm like, girl, you are quoting scripture for him. Considering he's always talking about him being a spiritual man, you are quoting the scripture. All right. 1 Corinthians, you better quote it. So she's like, right now, Tony, I don't think you're ready to love. I'm like, ow. And then she's like, my self-worth, I have to choose me. I'm like, yes, girl, I'm so happy for you. Choose yourself. Hallelujah. One thing she said in her confessionals that I do agree with is that if you really came here looking for a wife, you wouldn't have done what you did with Natasha. That is so true. If you're out here looking for a wife, your focus would be on finding that wife, not on like smashing the quick person that is like, oh, there you go, that's my number. Like, you would be focused and committed. You did not come here looking for a wife. That's the reality of it, right? And then the nail in the coffin was the comment that he made to Lyndon. And I completely agree with that. I'm glad you left him, even though I would have left him earlier, but I think you really wanted to embarrass him the way he has embarrassed you. So you decided to wait until the last day and embarrass him publicly. That's what I think she did. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you think that's what she did, or do you think it just sort of happened that way? So, guys, Andre and Jeffrey chose each other. She was giving the speech about, you're my biblical husband. Cute, cute, cute. Let's see how long it lasts. I would like to hope it lasts, but I don't know, guys. Like, the track record of Ready to Love, it never really works out, does it? So I guess we'll have to wait and see. And let's not forget the final couple, Cynthia and Anthony. Drumroll. They kiss. And let's just hope and wish them the best. I hope and wish them the best. Now, can we talk about the fashions, honey? Cynthia, you've been bringing it all season. What is going on with that outfit? I do not like it. I repeat, change the fit. And Anthony just looked basic. Ugh, but Cynthia, no, honey, like, no. She's a beautiful woman, so it is what it is. What did you guys think about the fashions? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, what did you think about the final couples? Let me know. Do you think they're still going to be together at the reunion? Let me know what you think. Guys, when I say the reunion preview is looking shambolic, it looks mad. Like, when I say Jeffrey and Andrea are going at it, like, mad. And also, Cynthia and Anthony don't seem to be seated as close to each other as I would have expected for if you're in a relationship. So do you think they're still together? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know your predictions about the reunion in the comment section, please. And yeah, please give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. And please subscribe and tap that bell for notifications so you know every single time that I post. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later. Bye.